Hey footy fans, time for a bit of footy fun, maybe with Footy Fin. Now listen, this one isn't so much about fun. This is a reflection on the Wallabies' woeful, disastrous capitulation to Wales in the Rugby World Cup pool match this morning, Australian Eastern Time. Um, 40 points to 6. That is the Wallabies' biggest ever loss to Wales. It is the Wallabies' biggest ever loss at a Rugby World Cup. And it certainly seals the fact that this will be the first ever Rugby World Cup, this being the 10th one, that the Wallabies will not make the quarterfinals at least. Look, it's it's a disaster, but it's one that's many of us saw coming. Look, I was quietly, cautiously optimistic about this match. Wales have not been particularly strong over the past 12 months or more compared to, say, 4 years ago, for example. And despite injuries and selection dramas and dramas with the coach, Eddie Jones, I was cautiously optimistic, but no, that got blown out of the water very quickly. I mean, Wales scored a try, I think it was 2.5 minutes in, and that just showed the glaring, it showed up the fact that we've got a young, relatively inexperienced fullback playing fly half or 5/8 here. And it was a pretty regulation move, backline move by the Welsh. And speaking of we had a halves combination that have never played before, even at Super Rugby level, let alone at Test level. Andrew Callaway was belatedly at fullback, belatedly making his first Rugby World Cup appearance when he should have played in at least one of the two preceding matches. Look, just a host of issues. It's too many to list here. But look, in a way, part of me is actually strangely satisfied that this has happened because, look, if the Wallabies had progressed into the quarterfinals or possibly even beyond, then really that was just more papering over cracks, more denial, etc. I really think it's going to take a all-time low loss and performance and exit from the World Cup such as this to really shake out or begin to shake out the rot in Rugby Australia. And if this doesn't do it, then it makes you wonder what the hell ever will. Look, just so many talking points. We can blame Eddie Jones, and to me, clearly he has lost the plot. He's not coping. His best days are well past him as an international head coach. And when you think about it, as an international head coach, he's only really recognised as a great coach on the back of 3 games. That was the Wallabies beating New Zealand in the 2003 World Cup semi-final, Japan beating the Springboks in the 2015 Rugby World Cup, and then England beating New Zealand in the 2019 World Cup semi-final. That's it. Okay, he's had roles with South Africa in 2007 as an advisor, etc. But look, this is one thing that England fans can sympathise with us Aussies about. But the problems go far, far deeper than that. And it's the organisation, the kind of inept, dysfunctional, insular old boys club that is Rugby Australia, that are to blame for the decline of rugby in Australia over the last 10 to 20 years. The complete neglect of grassroots programs and development pathways and growth of the game outside the insular private school sphere. The dominance and the surge in popularity in NRL and AFL. So many things, as I say, too many to list, but they are the organisation that sacked Dave Rennie as coach and brought back Eddie Jones, a coach they sacked in 2005. And their chairman, Hamish McLennan, needs to take responsibility for that and fall on his sword, and probably numerous members of the board in the organisation as well. We need cultural change, we need generational change in that organisation. And things are not going to turn around in 4 years. It's going to take a decade, really, or the best part of a generation if we're being realistic. So anyway, from that point of view, hopefully the absolute dismal performance will lead to a positive. And I wanted to say at the outset, fair play Wales. Well played Wales, well deserved. They played a solid game, a smart game, well executed game of rugby, despite losing their first choice fly half in the first 5 to 10 minutes. So well played, not to take anything away from Wales. The Wallabies just made there was a turning point in the 25th minute or so where the Wallabies had a kick from in front to bring the score to 10-9. Instead, they went for glory, went for a penalty kick to the sideline, a line out, completely screwed up the line out. No jumper came even close to the ball. It went over the back. Wales took it up the other end and scored, etc. So anyway, an absolute capitulation, a thrashing, a low point, but hopefully, as I say, it will be the trigger for cultural change in Rugby Australia. Let's wait and see. So, Australia is only left with a game against Portugal to try desperately to salvage a bit of pride or something from. The men in green, the Irish team, are the team I'm following from here, and more on them later. But look, that's it from me. As I said, so much more I could say, but I'll leave it at that. One thing that has been pleasing, just following media and social media and what have you from around the world today, there is a lot of sympathy, a lot of empathy and compassion and kind words coming from rugby fans from many other nations, and that's actually really pleasing to see. And many say that, you know, World Rugby needs a strong Australian team to, you know, be at its best. So that's been another positive. Anyway, that's it from me. Come on, the men in green from here. More on that later. For myself, look forward to the Brisbane Broncos in the NRL Grand Final this weekend. Until next time, catch you at the back of a rolling mall. See ya.